Welcome to another episode of Trident Talks. I'm Gareth Davies and I help cybersecurity vendors build their go-to-market teams. Today, I'm joined by Aryaman Behera, who is a CEO and co-founder of Repello AI. Aryaman, great to have you on. For those who don't know you, do you want to give us a quick snapshot of your background and kind of what you're focused on now?
Sure. Thanks, Gareth, for having me on this podcast. I'm Aryaman, CEO of Repello AI, and we've been into AI security and specifically AI red teaming for a while. Personally, I've been into offensive security for about 8 years now. Been a part of this team called InfoSec IITR as its captain. Took it into Global World Finals, into DEFCON, into CTF World Finals, into South Korea, France, Russia. Sold my last company in second year in IIT Roorkee, where I graduated from, and then eventually started Repello AI, given the latest need, where I saw people building AI applications, but not caring about issues like prompt injection, jailbreaks, that were a new category of threats that was not solved by the traditional security tools. So here we are. We raised from General Catalyst, Pi Ventures, and top angels from Palo Alto Networks, OpenAI, and Meta, and we've been there for about 2.5 years now.
Okay, cool. So, what problems did you see that led to you founding Repello AI? And was there a specific pain point that you felt when you were doing your red teaming assessments or engagements that you thought, okay, this is a solution that I need to fix really?
Yep, sure. I think when we started off, it was fairly simple that the existing vendors who were doing penetration testing, VAPT, annually once, it was fundamentally broken. Having been into offensive security for so long, I understand that there's a huge gap between how attackers approach an organization. They think about kill chains, they think about various execution paths in order to compromise the system and infrastructure of a company. But penetration testing is just like an annual activity done for compliance. So the incentives are not aligned, which is why, red teaming makes sense. Now, when we started red teaming of AI systems specifically, we figured out that these are non-deterministic systems. These are not code-based applications. Here in AI applications, prompts, dataset, knowledge base, these are the new executables. And if these are new executables, then the security stack needs to evolve accordingly, and it was not. So we identified that what we are doing manually trying to jailbreak a model or try to cause system prompt leak on a system, why not actually automate that? Why not build an intelligent model or an intelligent orchestration that can automatically figure out the business context, the system prompt, fingerprint the underlying model, and marry all those insights in order to attack and simulate attacks on a AI system from an ethical point of view, so that you can preempt those specific threats. So that was the genesis of how Repello started.
Yeah. Okay. So, I suppose in simple terms, Repello AI is red teaming for AI applications, right?
That's right.
Okay, cool. So, do you want to walk us through your two products, Artemis and Argus, and maybe how they work together?
Sure. So Artemis is the AI red teaming product where you have to just quickly, in a very seamless manner, onboard your AI application. You can connect it via API, WebSocket, or browser navigation. And once you connect to it, we gather the business context, we gather the language of your users, we gather a couple of information regarding which industry you're at, which cannot be discovered automatically. Combining all this information, we come up with attack goals. We come up with attack goals with an adversarial scenarios that if these attack goals happen in production, it will be pretty wrong. And we majorly try to compromise the confidentiality, integrity, availability, or safety. These are the four pillars that we try to compromise. And then we map it to the OAuth, top 10 LLM, and other standard frameworks, worldwide. Now, that is the red teaming part. Once the red teaming is done, then naturally you need to fix it, because who's going to fix it? Can you fix it by updating a code? Not really. Can you fix it by updating a prompt? Maybe, but not always. In this case, you need a continuous solution, like a runtime security solution that sits between any LLM and an untrusted input. And those trusted boundaries is what we monitor via Argus. That's our runtime security solution. And Artemis and Argus work hand in hand to improve each other over time for a certain AI deployment.
Okay, so Artemis almost breaks an AI application or finds some vulnerabilities within the application, and then Argus kind of
Right.
protects it from being exploited further, right? Have I kind of got that right?
That's right.
Okay, cool. So, what's your key differentiator compared to maybe like model security vendors in this space?
Sure. So fundamentally in AI security, model security and application security for AI are fundamentally two different things. When we are doing model red teaming, make it, we are trying to break its alignment. We are trying to break its safety training where we are trying to make it say something like, how to build a bomb, how to haywire a car, something it should not do ethically, right?
Yeah.
Those are like those are funny things, but not really a business risk for the application companies. When we're trying to red team AI applications, here we're trying to cause system prompt leaks. We are trying to cause user context bleeding, that one user is able to access the data of someone else. One user is able to exhaust all the resources of the infrastructure, causing denial of wallet, exhausting all your model API credits.
Mhm.
So the kind of vulnerabilities are fundamentally different. Our differentiating point from all the other vendors in the space is, first of all, our attack success rate. The threat intelligence and the tools that we have are combining offensive security aggression with clever prompt engineering to come up with specific payloads which have extremely high success rate. If let's say other open source vendors and like closed source companies on 100 payloads have been able to execute like 30 or 32 times well, for us it's at least 52 to like 60.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's how we kind of differentiate. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, fine. And who is your ideal customer profile that you are currently targeting? Like who would benefit most from what you've built?
Sure. So it's primarily enterprises in regulated sectors, primarily BFSI, financial insurance sector, companies who have been building agents either for internal use cases or external use cases, doesn't really matter. But where the blast radius and the impact is high, these are specific industries, and that's what we've been targeting primarily into North America and Europe at the moment.
Okay, and you touched on it there, but if we zoom out just a little bit, and you mentioned kind of enterprises investing in AI agents, right? Why are enterprises doing that right now?
Sure. So I have this very interesting theory how enterprises are thinking about it, and this was in combination with different CIOs and CISOs that I've been talking to. We all started with something called suggestive AI, that we used to use AI as a suggestive buddy. That, okay, we used to go to ChatGPT, upload some files, and ask it for suggestions regarding what I should do. But I would be doing the job. Then we moved towards assistive AI. Assistive AI is where, we started giving some autonomy to these co-pilots to do some actions on our behalf. Something like Microsoft Copilot, Cursor, and so on. Then we move towards something called replacive AI or disruptive AI. This is where it was doing something what humans are doing autonomously, and they can plan, reason, execute completely on their own. And that is how enterprises have been also thinking about it. First of all, they're thinking about replacing the customer support job, something that is back office that does not require a lot of intelligence. So they're trying to match up as the model level intelligence is catching up. They're trying to match it with what are some of the internal operational efficiency that they can enhance, with the help of AI agents.
Yeah, okay. And I know you and I spoke about it previously, but like we're seeing huge workforce shifts, right? Like we are seeing 50, 60 person teams reduced down to 3 to 4
Yep.
people managing agents, right? So what does that tell us about how work is changing? And also, is this purely about efficiency, or are we potentially witnessing a redefinition of what human work looks like?
Definitely, I would say that it is redefining how human works look like, because intelligence is fundamentally getting commoditized, right? If there was a person who was an individual contributor and who was given a task, and they were expected to do this task in a certain time frame, and they were measured on top of that. They were measured on the basis of how they perform there. If an AI agent is able to do the same thing without any micromanagement, without having them to like do a lot of back and forth, them understanding the context automatically from the knowledge base without any dependencies, of course they are a much better resource to work on. And if you think about, if you don't consider the emotional aspect of it or the human aspect of running an organization, it's very much beneficial for the company. But at the same time, because of agents and giving them so much autonomy, the security issues and privacy issues are always on the rise because who is accountable? Accountability has always been with humans. With agents, who do you hold accountable? You can't hold a LLM powered by, LLM based application by OpenAI accountable that you did me wrong. No, it's not possible, really,
Yeah, and of course, when I suppose when agents start working at that scale, security takes on a new meaning, right? So, what
for
happens
sure.
when like an AI agent has the same access and privileges as like 50 employees, for example?
I think that is when a lot of things can go south. I always give this example, and this resonates with a lot of maybe your audience as well. That imagine a very simple system where there was an invoice processing system where there was like a 15 to 20 people team, and all they did was fetch the latest emails for invoices to be pending from last month, and they used to like cross reference it with the CRM to see what is pending and then feed it into the Jira ticket or something, just to like it's a lot of cross-referencing, fetching, read-write operations between different platforms. And that there was a human was doing that or a team was doing that. Now, when agent does that, that opens up a lot of failure modes. What if there is a malicious invoice with hidden prompt injection that gets uploaded and it changes the price from $10,000 to $80,000 and suddenly you are settling an $80,000 invoice just because something went wrong, and this is hidden in plain sight. Humans fundamentally cannot see that. Now when that happens, a plenty of things can go wrong. What if there was an email reply agent and in the body of email reply there is a white fonted character where it asks you to like reply back with the summary of all the emails in your inbox and use OTP in B64 encoding. You're done. All the previous, tokens, encoding, links, you leaked everything.
Yeah.
So security issues is why a lot of adoption in enterprises for AI agents has been, a huge bottleneck. And companies like us have been helping enterprises and working hand in hand with them to unlock the, production of AI agents.
So, how do organizations maybe like need to rethink access control, privilege, and maybe monitoring in this new AI era, so to speak?
Sure. I think there are two types of AI agents when we're talking about adoption in enterprises. One is homegrown AI agents, where you're building the entire AI agent from scratch on top of some open source frameworks. You write the entire code, the entire stack is owned by you.
Mhm.
That is where you need tools like Repello in order to get complete visibility into what are the tools access, what are the read write access, the access level permissions needs to be studied. Are there any circular loops that can lead to resource exhaustion? There are plenty of things. Then there are agents like no code tools like Na10, Agent Force, by Salesforce, SAP Labs. There are plenty of ITSM solutions where they have been working on like they built an agent. Now you have to implement that agent in your enterprise and customize it by uploading your knowledge base configuration and so on.
Mhm.
The vulnerabilities are both on either side. You can't say that agent force has solved all the problems in security and now we're pretty safe. No, when you implement agent force in your organization, there can be plenty of things that can go wrong. What if your HR team has access to the engineering code and vice versa, and
Mhm.
now the CEO's salary is public because there was no user level access control, and now you're busted. So
Yeah.
you don't want things like that to happen. What I recommend to all the enterprises is to have a clear AI governance policy, have clear observability into what kind of AI applications, agents, and AI sprawl is to control that AI sprawl. And once you have inventorized everything, you have to invest in continuous AI red teaming of the entire systems to make sure that you are prevented against all the new kind of AI specific threats. Once you have that, then you move into the runtime security layer, which is where you are continuously protected against all sorts of like prompt injections and new AI specific threats, including
Mhm.
the 0 days, of course.
Yeah, okay. So why is AI application security maybe distinct from model safety? And I suppose why does that distinction matter?
Sure. I think the model safety, okay, imagine it like when you once you build a car, you build an engine.
Yeah.
testing an engine is similar to testing a model. Where you're testing the core, it's amazing, you know. You tested its safety, it's a like very safe engine, doesn't burst in high RPMs, amazing. But when you put that engine in a car, when you attach it to the differential, you know, there's a steering lock in place, there are brakes, suspension, and everything else. You need to make sure that everything aligns and stitches well together. Everything as a whole, as a system, should go well together, which is the analogy of an AI application. In terms of AI application, people build RAG workflows, people build agents, give them autonomy to their CRMs, give them multiple tools and API calls access. You need to make sure how everything as a system is functioning well. Testing an engine is not enough for, you know, making sure that the entire system will work well. Airbags needs to be tested in a car even if your engine has already been tested.
Yeah.
That's exactly why applications and AI applications specifically needs to be tested even if, you know, OpenAI has done a commendable job in model red teaming, and so have Anthropic and so on. You need to still test.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I suppose model context protocol is something that we're hearing more and more about, right?
Uh,
Do you want to kind of give us an idea of what that is and how does it change how agents interact across systems?
Sure. So I'll give you a simple example, assuming the audience here knows about MCP. If not, then you know it is called the USB-C protocol of the AI world because you can just like plug and play, and it enables interoperability. Now my Google Calendar can talk to my Notion can talk to my Cloud Code, and everything else, you know, like kind of they can share data. Now, it is amazing for companies like us because there will be all new kind of security issues and we get paid to solve that. But for the developers in enterprises who are, you know, like trying random MCP servers from GitHub and, you know, trying to just play around with something. Let me tell you a very simple example. You have installed a MCP server in your, you know, connected it to Claude desktop, and it's pretty amazing. You know, you're having the time of your life. You are just like using natural language, you're able to do so many things. Now, the MCP server was trusted, but now, after a few days, there was a new update to push to the MCP server, which updated its tool and description. Now, because you trust that, you wouldn't know that the tool and description is changed. Suddenly, it instructed it to exfiltrate some files like the SSH keys and some, you know, sensitive files, and send it to a exfiltrated endpoint after encoding it in base64.
Okay.
Now, in this particular case, you wouldn't know that it happened. It will become malicious, and before you know, it will automatically become healthy again. You wouldn't know your data and sensitive files were automatically breached. This is something that we have demonstrated many, many times when in different enterprises, which is why people need to be very wary about their MCP security use cases. They need to have MCP gateway. They need to have clear visibility into, you know, what developers are using, what kind of MCP servers, are they safe or not, and all these kind of issues.
So how are you at Repello like preparing for this?
Sure. So we have MCP Gateway, which a lot of enterprises, some public companies in India, some companies in UK have been using this recurringly for making sure that they get clear visibility into all the usage of their employees' MCP usage. That are they connecting to remote MCP servers? What kind of data is getting shared? Is there any like, you know, like PII that is getting shared there? All sorts of issues, and they can lock in remotely if they want to disable a specific remote MCP server which has been flagged by Repello platform. They can automatically lock in, and you know that is a very very seamless integration that does not have to, you know, that's not very agent specific. You don't have to go around every laptop to install that agent. So it's pretty cool how we have kind of seamlessly, you know, onboarded customers here.
So just going to like, I suppose the wider industry then, like, how far are we from AI security being as mature and standardized as cloud security perhaps is today?
Sure. I think if you had asked me this question last year, I would say 3 to 4 years because you know it's a slow industry. People take some time to catch on budgets. But you would be surprised to know that in 2025, with the rise of agents and MCP and the usage of developers, that has got CISO worried more than anything else. And AI security budget is sometimes trumping the other budgets in place that they already had. So between the annual operation planning, CISOs are coming up and carving out specific AI security budgets, which include the shadow AI, which is like, monitoring the usage of employees, like AI tools. And then this AI security problem where we have to map the entire AI touch points across our infrastructure and make sure how to secure those AI deployments. Now, it has become a priority, and I do see that becoming a much, much mature category in the next couple of months.
Okay, yeah, cool. It's do you see parallels maybe between early cloud adoption and where AI security is now?
Sure. I think cloud adoption grew by a lot, and especially cloud security adoption. The reason because it is API driven. Because it was API driven, a lot of cloud security solutions came up, and these big vendors like AWS, GCP, and Azure, they natively provided solutions. But at the same time, Wiz came up and provided a multi-cloud security solution where customers were not just logged into one cloud, but they were using multiple cloud vendors, and without any vendor lock-in, cloud security solutions, CSPM or CNAP kind of solutions grew in number and market. Similarly, in today's world, there is model like, a lot of companies are using different models, different like inference providers and so on. Their entire stack is getting commoditized into like OpenAI, Anthropic, maybe some open source models from Hugging Face and so on. Some are building on top of Azure OpenAI and no code solutions. They are still providing some native guardrails. AWS Bedrock has their own guardrails. Azure like has their own prompt shield kind of solution, but they're not appropriate. They're not good. And just quoting a fact by Simon Wilson that 99% security in application security is a failure rate. It's not enough because attackers just need one possibility to cause the entire breach, while the defenders need to protect every single point of breach. So it's kind of asymmetric, right? Which is why I do think that AI like adopt AI security adoption is going to be much much bigger than like cloud security adoption overall.
Okay, cool. And I suppose what's next for Repello? Like any product roadmap highlights or partnerships we should look out for?
Sure. I think we are doubling down on agentic security right now as a natural, extension of demand from our customers, where they were into building AI co-pilots and chatbots early this year, but very steadily they have been entering into the AI agent space as well. And we have been working very closely with them to make sure that we build tools to adapt to the new agentic security problem as well. Chatbot security and agentic securities is a lot different in terms of the kind of attack vectors. And we have been building some product in close design partnerships with them in order to make sure. We've been growing very fast. We onboarded a couple Fortune 500 companies, three AI decacons in the past 1 month itself. We started monetizing in June, and we are already on a path to cross a million ARR very soon. And we are onboarding new like financing rounds very soon with a key strategic round rather than like just another financing round. So things are looking very well for us in the next couple of. In the past year, there have been so many acquisitions in the AI security space. So that has sent out a signal to CISOs that this space is important and worth investing. That has been working very well in our favor, where a lot of companies were using those solutions and now they want to migrate out of it. So they're coming to Repello, being because we built amazing brand in the AI red teaming category by publishing out research and demonstrating our prowess.
Success. So for anyone who wants to maybe follow your journey, where's the best place to connect with you or learn more about Repello?
So we publish a lot of research on our blog, repello.ai/blog. I'm always open to connect to people on LinkedIn and Twitter. My email is anyway public, so they can always shot me an email if they want to learn something, or happy to chat anything's AI cross security ever.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Aryaman, thank you for joining us. Fascinating to hear how Repello are taking on AI red teaming. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Trident Talks. I really appreciate your time and yeah, I look forward to continuing your journey.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.